So you have a dream of being an actor, right? I have a better dream for you, and that is a working actor. Okay, I want you working. So what can you do in 2025 to set the table better, to increase your chances, to create your breaks instead of waiting for breaks to come? This video is for you, especially if you're earlier in your career and not sure where to point this sucker, what to do next. Okay, so here we go. Let's give you some help, a roadmap, some ideas and concepts that will increase your opportunities to work. First, you got to have you got to set the table with the basics: headshot, resume, online presence. These days there's a lot of major markets have where you can upload a picture of yourself, a headshot, a resume, some of your work with links about you, biography, and people from all over the planet submit. Let's just say I'm in San Francisco. There's the casting connection, whatever the hell it's called, here in the Bay. Yeah, so it's filled with all actors in the Bay Area, but it's filled from actors from all over the place too, because they're willing to fly in. You can do self-submit. So you want to have an online presence is what I'm trying to say, in as many markets that you're willing to get to and go to. And especially if you're in a major market where it's already there in place, okay? And that goes to the things. You got to have you got to have the toolkit. You've got to have ideally a kick-ass headshot. I don't want you to spend thousands, but and there's it goes round and around. You go Google how to get quality headshots, what they're looking for, and you're going to get all kinds of answers. For a commercial shot, it should be very warm and friendly. There's people that say that as long as the background's not distracting and it really captures you well and it looks like you and it's friendly, you can get away with a commercial shot being less professional and more of just something. I mean, you got a 4K camera in your hand. Holy hell. And so does your friend shooting you. So odds are you shoot enough pictures, you're going to get something that really captures your spirit and something that's friendly and warm. Okay. And then of course for dramatic, for film and television, you want something more theatrical. Theatrical, really what it means is more powerful, more dramatic, typically more serious, but there's something definitely going on. Typically, you're better off having a pro shoot that. Proper lighting, proper background, proper everything. There's nothing like a pro shooter, trust me. Trust me. In fact, I want to be clear here. If you can ever afford it, getting a session with somebody that you really click with, jive with, and we'll share videos about that too, by the way. But for now, we're just trying to give you the basics of how to increase your chances. So let's just do a flyby here, and we'll do a deep dive later. Headshot, resume, online presence. Ideally, in my opinion, a website where you have a store called you on Main Street, a thing called Google, so that when somebody searches and you come up, there they are. There's your storefront. It's easy. It's all there. You're on the bottom of your email. You have a website that has all that where people could just go who are curious. It's just there for them. Okay, so there's that. Classes, of course, there's a lot of online stuff out there. Be careful. A lot of it's just money grabbing. You're going to learn some things, but after a while, it's just a lot for a little, and then there's incredible ones. So do your due diligence and your deep dive where it's worth every penny, and what they're teaching can be done online. A lot of people try to teach acting online, like literally acting. The Meisner Technique obviously is what we're about. And my personal opinion, and I believe this strongly, you cannot teach the Meisner Technique online. It shouldn't be done. It's just me. But people do it, and people, really not good people with good intentions, do it. Knock yourself out. I just would never do it because I know the limitations in terms of what that in training would do. So ideally in person, okay? That's what you want for sure. I heard recently, over the next 10 years in this industry, try to meet as many people as you possibly can. Have that be your goal. I don't mean some leg humping thing. I just literally mean, to be able to go to a film festival in your area, go to the breakout sessions, talk to the director of that film. They're not famous yet. They'll talk to you, or they're on their way to being famous. They'll still talk to you. Go to any type of event that's being hosted by filmmakers or a casting director or agents. And again, be careful of the money grab, but you know where I'm going. Just try to get yourself out there to workshops and classes. And again, it's not for the goal of just to be seen. I'm encouraging you to be proactive instead of just inactive. That's what I'm looking for you, is to stick yourself out there. And again, not in some trying to, be desperate. I just mean meeting people. The more people that know about your talent, the better. That's for sure. Online marketing. What else can you do besides having a presence on some of these casting networks? You can also, through social media and through Instagram, following people whom you admire, who are teaching things that inspire you. There's another thing, by the way, not just the acting component, but the mental, emotional part of it too. And for those of you that really know that in the next year, you'd really like to get out of this, your big fish in a little pond. You'd like to get out of this into a big market. What do? Well, you need to pack smart. You don't want to be moving to LA or New York or San Francisco or Chicago with, debt and no place to live and no job. But boy, do you want to do this? Well, you're showing up in a leaky boat and you're almost doomed to failure. It's tough enough, and you just don't want to be starting behind the eight ball, right? So start saving money and having a strategy for doing that, and being able to begin the process of figuring out where you do want to go next. What is a good market? I just got off the phone with one of my alums who's did extremely well in LA. He's now moved to Atlanta. He's doing extremely well there. Talked a lot about the pros and cons of that market. And so, he made that decision. That was his next chapter. Where's your next chapter? Where do you want to go? And start strategizing that so that you can quit talking about this next chapter of your dream and actually be able to do something about it. Representation. It's an opportunity. Oh, and an investment in self-submission gear. You don't need crazy stuff. A camera, a tripod, and a nice good light with some good audio. You're in pretty darn good shape right away. And then stay up on all the do's and don'ts, because the market is changing with self-submissions. But back to it, to an agent, to get representation, to have somebody else on your team beating your drum for you, shaking the tree for you, of course, it's a wonderful thing. And these days, it's allowed to have it in multiple markets. So a lot of our alumni have their representation when they were here in the Bay in San Francisco. They still work with them. And now they're in LA or New York, and they work with those agents. In the old days, it didn't used to be allowed like that. New York was the exception. But anyway, in these days, it is. The art of self-submitting, the art of auditioning, back to classes, anything you can do to get good at this new way of actors creating work. And then finally, there's plenty more, but I think this is a good start for you. And this is just basic stuff, but maybe you haven't thought of it yet. But, also I'm fond of the teaching success leaves clues. So study people, your heroes, people that are ahead of you, that have come out of nowhere, that have created content and a one-person show that they turned into a film that now is a series, or things like that. And then, I got one more. And then try to reach out to people. You just never know. I was, for years, when I was in LA, before social media, I got this close to Robert Duvall. He had a bunch of gatekeepers. And I wanted to get to Robert Duvall because I wanted to be on location with him when he was making movies. He studied with my teacher, with Sandy. And I wanted to be around him. I wanted to watch this master at work. And I kept saying to his assistants, trying to finally getting to his lead assistant, Dustin was his name. It just came to me. And I said to him, I go, look, man, I'm not trying to take anybody's job. I don't want to get paid. I will do anything. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll run and get coffee. I'll fill up the car with gas. I'll run errands. I'll do anything. But when it comes time for him to work, I just want to sit there like a fly on the wall and absorb and learn and grow, get a master's degree in his brilliance and in Sandy's coming together. So I was always thinking like that, trying to reach out to people who were here in hopes that they might mentor me, help me in some small way. So just here, you're president of your dream. What you can do in the next year is understand that are you a successful business or not? Are you a professional dreamer or an amateur? Are you going to do stuff? Are you on top of what you say you're going to do and the things that need to get done? Can you set the table in all the ways that I've listed here and others that you can think of, where you can have momentum, where you can have pulls in the water and more people will know about you? That's the key. That's the key. And then okay, I can keep going and keep going. Write your own stuff, shoot it, get the camera out. Don't try to get to Sundance. Just make a film, grow, learn, start building your community. Find other people that feel the same way about you. Make a film next weekend and film after that. What the hell? You want to do this, get to work. Okay? I hope that helps.